As vast majorities of the gaming community lose their minds over the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, it's easy to forget that once upon a time Konami released a side-scrolling run-and-gun platformer set in the old American West called Sunset Riders. Now I cannot for the life of me remember where the hell I played this game. It's highly possible that it was at my local arcade, and something at the back of my mind is telling me that a friend had it on Sega Genesis. Even though my memory of Sunset Riders is muddied by the ravages of time and the fact that it's not exactly a game I've thought about in recent years, I felt compelled to check it out, more specifically for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Sunset Riders started its life as an arcade game that came in two variants, a 2-player cabinet and a 4-player cabinet, and would subsequently be ported to the Sega Genesis and then the SNES. The arcade version is a fast and frantic game, and the SNES port does a fantastic job of recreating its arcade counterpart, retaining the 4 selectable characters, vibrant graphics, and frantic gameplay. The Sega Genesis version, however, leaves much to be desired, as it's a far cry from the source material and looks and feels like a completely separate game. Oh, and it's also fucking horrible, failing on every conceivable level. I mean, just fucking look at this!
A few moments later.
The premise of Sunset Riders is simple enough. Set in the old American West, you play as one of 4 bounty hunters tasked with eliminating the various outlaws in the county, brought to your attention by wanted posters that are shown before each level starts. Each poster reveals the outlaw you will need to eliminate at the end of each level. Needless to say, there are plenty cannon fodder outlaws and set pieces to contend with on each level stuck between you and collecting your bounty, so you'll need to have your wits about you. 2 of the 4 characters carry different weapons, so while Steve and Billy wield pistols, Bob wields a rifle and Comano carries a shotgun. Beyond aesthetics, however, this doesn't appear to make much of a difference, as all 4 characters play the same. Sunset Riders follows the typical side-scrolling run-and-gun mold. You start off with a set number of lives, there's a one-hit kill play mechanic, and you collect various pickups that will allow you to power up your gun, which you will most certainly need as there is an endless supply of bandits and outlaws waiting to kill you. The boss battles can be pretty challenging too, and I found myself dying quite often, especially with the last showdown. I mean, this fucking thing is just insane, and the battle where you face off against Chief Wigwam, who is practically a fucking ninja, is a huge pain in the ass. I must say that a lot of the challenge comes in the form of needing to memorize the attack patterns, as I found myself dying a lot due to silly little mistakes or miscalculations in my attack strategy, which all just served to drive me to keep at it until I was victorious. You just need a shit ton of patience. Visually, Sunset Riders is a great looking game, and looking at the SNES version side by side, you can see just how faithful the port is to the original arcade version. The intro cinematics are practically identical, and the vibrant and detailed character and background graphics and animations are intact too. The only real difference between the two is that the arcade version runs faster and is a little smoother, and the SNES version is unfortunately censored in some places. Comparatively, the Genesis port did not suffer from censorship at all, but man, just look how dull and bleak this shit sandwich looks in comparison to its counterparts. Would it have really been that much of a chore to create a faithful port of the arcade version?
I think not!
Sunset Riders is divided up across 8 levels. The majority of the game takes place on foot, there are 2 horse riding levels and 1 level that takes place on a moving train. In between all this, there are a couple bonus stages that require you to cut down bandits for points. The variation keeps things nice and interesting, and whether you're dodging dynamite-wielding bandits or trying not to get squished by stampeding bulls, there's always something interesting waiting just around the corner. The game plays out a bit like a Sergio Leone film, as plenty of the typical spaghetti western tropes are present here, such as a feared gang of outlaws, humor, and of course a town or environment in complete disarray. I mean, just look at all this chaos. And only an elite group of highly skilled heroes can save the day. What more could you ask for in a game? Sunset Riders' soundtrack parallels the gameplay and visuals wonderfully, as it is made up of a wonderful collection of deliciously appropriate tunes that sound as if they've been ripped out of a Clint Eastwood western. The only audio aspect that I found irritating is the death sound effect for the bad guys. It all sounds the same and gets very old very quickly. Apart from that, the sound effects are pretty decent, and the inclusion of dialogue before each boss battle is a novel addition. So yes, Sunset Riders is still good today. It's challenging and underrated gem, and surprisingly one that I haven't seen re-released on any modern digital distribution platform. Quite surprising considering some of the liquid dog shit that you can get. So if you're looking for a fun old-timey retro game set in the old American West, and have a hankering to dish out some bounty hunter justice in a lawless land, then you can't go wrong with this one. That's it for this week. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below, and subscribe. Until next time, cheers.